Jets. Now, here's Eric Allen and Eric Coleman.
Welcome to Inside the Jets. We are broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Eric Allen, joined alongside by my partner, we have found Eric Coleman. E, thanks for showing up tonight.
Back like I left something.
Yeah, we missed you a couple weeks ago. Later on during this episode of Inside the Jets, we'll be joined by Jets inside linebacker Neville Hewitt, who's had a really fine start to the season. But overall for the green and white, a tough first quarter. 4 games through, still winless.
Yeah, it's been a series of unfortunate events for the Jets. You know, having the injuries, the injuries have decimated them, but the play hasn't been there. You know, I don't think it's been up to the expectations of the players or the organization. So they got some things to clean up, but there is relief coming. The couple guys coming off suspension. Hopefully Sam Darnold comes back, and hopefully we'll get C.J. back in action. So that will be a great jump for this team.
That was the news out of One Jets Drive today. Sam Darnold, of course, took first-team reps Wednesday and Thursday last week. The Jets hoped that he could have got in the lineup against the Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, ruled out Thursday night. Luke Falk made the start. The Jets went down to Philadelphia and took a loss 31-6. Today, Adam Gase announced that Sam Darnold will indeed get tests Tuesday, so we should know by the end of the day tomorrow whether Darnold will make his second start of 2019.
Yeah, I mean, and that will be a big relief, not only for his physical presence, you know, throwing the football accurately, on time, but just his presence as a leader. You know, he's the leader of this team. He's established himself as the leader, you know, from last season, going through the offseason and to the start of this season. So it'll be big for the confidence of the team, just having your guy out there leading the troops.
I would make the argument that most teams would be in the same boat the Jets find themselves in right now. You lose your quarterback after week 1, where he said he didn't feel like himself. Mm-hmm. He missed some plays out there on the field. With that being said, he still completed 28 of 41 passes. Then he's diagnosed with mono. He misses games 2 through 4. During that game against the Buffalo Bills, that opener, you had a double-digit lead. C.J. Mosley had a pick 6 and a fumble recovery. He went out with the groin injury. You lost your quarterback at the defense. Mm-hmm. Those are 2 guys that you just can't replace.
Yeah, I mean, we're not sitting here making excuses for the team.
It's just reality,
But that's
though.
reality. I mean, you lose your starting quarterback. You lose your backup quarterback. Then you lose some key components on your team. These are guys who you paid a lot of money to. You invested draft picks to be leaders of your team, to be playmakers for your team that you had counted on that aren't here right now. So it's going to leave a big void for the team to fill. And unfortunately for the Jets, they play some tough teams and haven't been able to come up with a win in the first 4 games.
And you just mentioned it before, maybe the Jets will get a pair back from suspension this week in Chris Herndon, a tight end who developed a great rapport and connection with Sam Darnold when they were both rookies in 2018, and Brandon Copeland, a guy who was slated to be one of your starting outside linebackers when the season began.
Yeah, Brandon Copeland is a guy who had an excellent preseason. You know, he brings a spark, you know, off that edge. He's not the John Abraham, but he's physical. He does a great job against the run. He can get after the quarterback. And then you look at Herndon, who's a speedy tight end. And look at the lack of production that we've had from that position since he hasn't been in.
Yeah, and I think Ryan Griffin's done a good job as a blocker.
He's done a great job. He's done a great job as a blocker, and he'll continue to do a good job. But Herndon brings such a different, just a different aspect of the game to that offense. You know, he can spread the field vertically down the field. He's a mismatch for any safety or linebacker who covers him and opens it up for the other receivers. So hopefully his presence will help spark the offense as well.
Well, let's talk about that right now. If the Jets do indeed get Sam Darnold back in the lineup and Chris Herndon against the Dallas Cowboys Sunday, and we're going to talk about that matchup later on here tonight as you're listening to Inside the Jets on ESPN Radio and watching on NewYorkJets.com and the Jets app right now. How does that change things for defenses when they got to match up with the Jets in terms of what's happening on the middle of the field? in the middle of the field because the Jets got a boost Sunday. Demaryius Thomas got back in the lineup. So that shifted Jamison Crowder back inside to the slot. But now if you add Herndon into the mix, what does it do to opposing defenses that know not only is not only is Crowder a threat over the middle, but now you got Herndon as well?
Well, it makes it tough. You know, when you have your personnel matchups, you always want to match up the linebackers in secondary to the personnel of the offense. And with Herndon out there, he's a guy who can go inside and block. So, you know, you can't bring in an extra DB to cover him. So you have to keep a linebacker out there. And when you do have that linebacker out there, you can split Herndon, put him out there on the island where he's very uncomfortable, and maybe convert a 3rd down and 4. Maybe just convert some mismatched plays to keep the drive going and help your offense continue those drives.
What possibly could he also do for Le'Veon Bell? Herndon's reinsertion into the lineup, but also Darnold coming back there, because I know the Jets have had struggles in protection so far this season. We know that. But Darnold's a guy who can make plays with his feet. And when chaos is happening around him, we've seen him escape that pocket, keep his eyes down the field.
Yeah, I mean, he does an excellent job of throwing the ball on the run, once the play breakdowns, he can extend it. But also just having that confidence of being that starting quarterback, understanding who's going to be open. You know, the main thing about a quarterback is anticipation. And when you have a young quarterback in there who hasn't had the reps, hasn't been in there against number 1 defenses, it's hard for him to trust what he sees. And I think that's what you saw in times with Luke Falk. He's holding the football a little extra.
Yeah.
And that extra second is the world to a pass rush, to an offensive lineman having to block. So I think Sam getting the ball out quick, being assertive with it, extending plays when it breaks down will help the offense quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think it's going to help Le'Veon Bell, who just has not had enough space out there. He is doing a tremendous job of producing yards after a contact, but you only can ask a guy to do so much.
Yeah, I mean, he's out there fighting every play, fighting for every yard, and, you know, you just have to commend a guy who's given that effort. And, you know, it's tough because defenses are inching their safeties in closer. I know if I'm playing safety against Le'Veon Bell, against a 3rd-string quarterback, I'm going to be lining up at, instead of 12 yards, I'm lining up at 9. And I'm just going to be inching closer.
They're daring
the
Jets to beat you down the field.
Exactly.
Right now.
I dare you to throw it deep.
Yep.
And if you beat us throwing it deep, then we'll take that.
Right.
But we're not going to let your best player on your team beat us. And that's what teams are doing. They're trying to take away Le'Veon Bell, no matter if it's in the run game or the pass game, and making other players beat them.
Inside the Jets is supported by M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Eric Allen here alongside Eric Coleman. We're going to be joined by Jets linebacker Neville Hewitt in our second segment. The Jets today, Leonard Williams was on a conference call and said, we had a players-only meeting, and guys got up there and discussed that we're not pointing fingers at each other right now. Here's a moment, a key moment, I think, for this team early in the season, because there's still 3 quarters of the season left in 2019. This season's a marathon. They got to stay together. They got to stick together, and I like the message that we heard from the guys today.
Yeah, I think that's important for you know, the veterans of the team to bring in the players, have a players-only meeting with no coaching, not having to worry about what someone's going to think about you. Get the issues off your chest. You know, I'm sure it probably got heated at times. Yes, it was a positive meeting, but there are probably some things that guys are frustrated about, and you can get that off your chest with your teammate. And I think that's very important to open those lines of communication, let everyone know that we're in this together. You know, we may not be winning right now, but if we stick together as a unit, we're going to be so much more dangerous than if we start pointing fingers at guys, because ultimately, we win and lose as a team.
In about 45 seconds here, how frustrating can it be for a defender right now when you know your offense, it's so difficult for them to move the football because they're not even sustaining drives. All the 3rd downs, it's 3-and-out punt.
It's tough. You know, it is very frustrating as a defense when you do your job, you get a 3-and-out, you go sit down to grab your Gatorade and can't even finish the cup because the punt team has to go back out there. It can get frustrating, but as a defense, you have so much to worry about in your own mind, so many assignments that you have to handle that it's hard for you to focus on that, during the game.
All right, we're going to come right back with Jets linebacker Neville Hewitt. You are listening to Inside the Jets on ESPN New York.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium, teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. The people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets debit card. New on the scene, this fantastic plastic stands 2.125 inches tall and weighs a lean 0.2 ounces. This small but mighty paying machine is sure to be charging through checkout lines all season long.
Hey Jets fans, get your hands on the exclusive Jets debit card with Easy Choice Checking. It's free from a monthly maintenance fee and free from a minimum balance requirement, leaving you free from worry.
You know, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this powerhouse everywhere soon.
No doubt about it. I want one on my team.
So show your love for the Jets and save on fees today. Rush to any M&T Bank branch or mtb.com/Jets today. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Other transaction and service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees, may apply to this account. Member FDIC.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
This here is the story of Lawrence, who always wanted to play pro football. His parents supported his love of the game, sent him to special camps, and then in college, pro scouts came to a bunch of games where Lawrence was playing the trumpet at halftime. Yeah, Lawrence was never that good at football, gave up by the time he got to college. But he also learned how Geico could save him a lot of money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. So, this here story has a happy ending after all.
You're invited to Super Bowl 54 in beautiful Miami for a once-in-a-lifetime football experience from NFL On Location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL. You'll meet NFL alumni, enjoy exciting pregame parties, watch the action from the 50-yard line, and celebrate on the field after the game. For easy one-stop planning and access to hotels and travel, let NFL On Location plan your ultimate Super Bowl experience. Secure your official access and the best seats at Hard Rock Stadium today. Visit NFLOnLocation.com.
On game day, it takes an entire team to get the job done. Whether it's building the stadium, fixing the roads to get us here, or promoting economic development, the team we rely on is ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. They promote investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. ELEC, building the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Your 2019 Jets are built for action, just like the all-new 888 Casino. The fun never ends at 888. Top slots, live dealers, and big jackpots. Your ultimate online casino experience. Join today and get a $20 free bonus. No deposit needed. Play for real money anywhere in New Jersey at home or on the go. Go to 888casino.com on your iOS, Android, or PC to get your $20 free bonus now. JETS 888. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and physically located in the state of New Jersey to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
As Stidham lines up in the shotgun, two receivers left, Gordon to the right, back he goes to throw. Throws it right, and it's intercepted right through the hands of Bolden. Jamal Adams runs left. He's got a convoy to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets. We are broadcasting live at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Our player guest segment is presented by M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Let's bring in now an unlikely big-time contributor for the New York Jets in 2019, linebacker Neville Hewitt.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Neville, we just heard a pick six from Jamal Adams, actually against the New England Patriots. But you guys were down in Philadelphia yesterday. I thought the defense gave this team an opportunity to win the game. This was a Philadelphia Eagles team that had averaged 27.5 points per contest. The defense held them to 17 points. Also, an Eagles team that led the National Football League in terms of third down efficiency, 56.1%. After allowing those 3 third down conversions, I believe they were 2 of their next 10. When you guys went back to One Jets Drive today, what did the film reveal?
We just cleaned up the little things. We know the defense, we've been playing well, and we just really, all year our plan has been to just clean up the little things, and we can be even better than we look. And each week is just little details here and there, you know, somebody hopping out of a gap or something like that, or me not doing something I was supposed to do, you know. So, and some of the mistakes is my fault, you know, but it's just a lot of things. It's just really little things that we can clean up on defense, and it's going to get clean, and we're going to be even better than what y'all see.
So Neville, I want to go back to the beginning of the season. Obviously, you prepared yourself to be the starting linebacker. You know, that's an opportunity that we all, you know, wait for.
Yeah.
But Avery Williamson goes down. Then you're like, okay, it's going to be CJ and I. He's a veteran. He's been doing it at a high level for a long time. And then CJ goes down. How did that transform your responsibility as a linebacker from being a guy next to CJ to being like the man, calling the plays, running the show?
Yeah, I think our coaching staff did a really good job during the preseason when they started moving some guys around and making us learn 2 to 3 different positions. And I ended up having to play it in a few games, one in Atlanta during the preseason, played it against the Giants in the preseason. So when CJ went down, all I had to do was know that I was the Mike, and I was able to go into that position. And it just, you know, any position, if you're not practicing it, you're not going to be as good until you start getting more reps. So every game I've gotten better and I'm getting more comfortable at it.
What do you think about the run fits? You guys held the Eagles, I think, to less than 3 yards per carry. You were all over the field, leading the team in terms of tackles with 10.
Yeah, I think they short me a few too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get up and celebrate after every tackle, so they give you the credit.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So, but what do you think about the way you handled their run game? Because this is an Eagles team that rushed for nearly 200 yards against the Packers.
Yeah, I think we take pride in stopping the run, and any good defense, you know, you have to stop the run and make a team one-dimensional and force them to throw the ball. And I think that's something we pride ourselves on. And each week, that's our goal. We're going to try to stop you from running the ball, and we're going to see what your quarterback can do.
What do you think about the way you guys responded? You took that early punch again like you did in New England, but the Patriots scored on 3 consecutive drives to start the game. You started the bleeding. You stopped the bleeding after giving up the initial touchdown. You settled down for the rest of that first half until right at the end.
Yeah, I think one thing we're starting to continue to work on is starting off fast. And once we figure that out, how we can, once the defense come out in that first series, you know, calm down and get back to our fundamentals and get off the field that first drive, it's going to be hard, really hard to score on us.
So when you guys go back in the film room or the defensive meeting room, is it a situation where you have your third-string quarterback in? Are you talking to yourselves like, listen, we need everybody to be on point this week because we have a guy in here who hasn't done it. You know, we're probably going to have to play a lot better than we will normally play. Is there a lot of pressure having that situation?
Well, we don't really worry about what the offense have going on. We know the situation, but as a defense, we're always trying to force turnovers. You know, we big on forcing turnovers, being physical, and, you know, whenever a team plays us, they know they have to come play. No matter what our situation is on the other side of the ball, they have to deal with our defense. So, you know, we try to go out to the ball and we're emphasizing it, and we're trying to get it even more just to even give our offense even more chances, you know, to score.
Inside the Jets is presented by EY, Building a Better Working World. Eric Allen with Eric Coleman, and we're joined by Jets linebacker Neville Hewitt. 4th and 5 in the first quarter. What was happening in terms of that pass rush? Looked like a little stunner, a little game for you, and you got a clear shot at Wentz.
Yeah, whenever they send me, if I have like a two-way go or something on the lineman, I'm probably going to get there. And we had a stunt going, and I came around and just almost had a sack fumble, and he got it off. I mean, he's a big quarterback, and he's pretty good at getting rid of the ball.
Yeah,
when people get to him.
You've been getting to the quarterback. You had a sack of Baker Mayfield in week 2. You had the interception in week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. So what is this experience going to do for you long term? Like Eric mentioned, you started out as, okay, I know I'm going to be a special teams contributor. I know I'm going to provide depth. I want to start, but if my number's called, I'll be ready. And sure enough, Avery Williamson goes down with the torn ACL, and Mosley goes out. And not only did you have to change positions, but you are the quarterback of this defense right now.
Yeah, this is like an opportunity I've been preparing for like 2 years now. Like when I was in Miami, I started the year we went to the playoffs. I started in base defense, and then when I got injured, I got cut. So it was like it was a learning process for me, and I just kept grinding and got an opportunity here. And then with all the injuries, it's like the same thing that happened to me. It just flipped, and it ended up working out for me to where I ended up having the opportunity to show how good I really am. And I'm just, week in and week out, I'm trying to help this team win.
The good thing, too, Eric, as we talk to Neville right now, is that he played at Marshall, and he did have the experience. Think about cross-training. You played Will and Mike at Marshall as well.
Yeah, I did. When I got to Marshall, I went to Georgia Military College first, and then once I transferred to Marshall, they moved me to linebacker. And my coach had me – I was playing Will, and then he moved me to Mike. And then so it was 3 of us, so we was rotating. So I was playing Mike and Will in the game. So I'm doing the same thing now. It's crazy how life works.
So Neville, can you talk about your defensive coordinator, Greg Williams, obviously legendary defensive coach, very big personality. What is it like going out there, and is it different than playing for other coordinators? Because I feel like I would want to go out there and just run through a wall for Greg Williams. Is it something similar?
It's cool because I grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland, so I grew up watching him when he was coaching with the Redskins. So, like, actually being able to play for him now and actually see how he coaches is cool. So, like, as a player and just the stuff that he's like realistic, and he's old school, and he's gonna get the best out of all of us. And he pushes us, and some days you might be tired and you can't feel bad for yourself playing for Greg. You know what I'm saying? He gets the best out of you. So it's a cool experience.
Quarterback Sam Darnold said on the Michael Kay show earlier today on ESPN Radio that you guys had a players-only meeting today where you kind of cleared the air. What was said that you can tell us? Obviously, you're not going to be able to tell us everything, but the tone of that meeting, and how important was that to have that now?
Well, you got to know that this team we got a new head coach, new offensive playable system for the offense. We got a new defensive staff, and we got new players, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. This is not our first time having one of those, but it's one of those things where we all just get the coaches out the room and just have a conversation with each other and really gel. And that's pretty much what we was doing in there. Just if you had something to say, say it. And, at the end of the day, we all got to be on the same page.
Yeah, how important is that to maintain the perspective? Because I've talked to you about this before. Mm-hmm. You just mentioned that experience in Miami. Mm-hmm. You started 1-4 a couple of years ago, and you guys found yourself in the playoffs. Yeah,
I mean, that's huge. You don't see that, especially on this level. Like, you'll have a team meeting, but, like, the stuff that we're doing here, we're not far off from being a really good team. At the end of the day, we got to have growing pains here and there, but we're not far off from where we need to be.
Okay, let's look ahead. Dallas Cowboys Sunday. I know you're probably jumping into the film because you're all over it right now. You got to be. What kind of challenge will it be defending against Zeke Elliott?
I'm still warming up on him right now, but I think I hear a lot about him, heard a lot about him, and he's one of the better backs in this league. So. shoot, I'm hungry like he hungry.
So Neville, when I was playing safety, back when I played safety, playing against a heavy running team, it was always fun for me. Like, playing against Buffalo when Marshawn Lynch was there, or the Steelers with Jerome Bettis. It was like, all right, I'm going to have to tighten up my chin strap, and it's going to be a fun game. Do you look at it like that as a linebacker? Like, this is such a passing league now. Yeah. When you get to play a running team, is it something that you look forward to?
Every time. Just like even like playing against the Eagles. Whenever a team want to run the ball as a linebacker or as a defensive lineman, you should – if you're not excited about that game, something's wrong with you. You're probably playing the wrong position. You know what I'm saying? Like this week, I'm very excited. And, they say they have one of the better offensive line in the game, you know what I'm saying, if not the best. So, yeah, we're up for the challenge.
Yeah, listen, MetLife Stadium is going to be rocking. It's a 4:25 start. Like you mentioned before, you guys are going to be up for the challenge. That's the #1 offense in the National Football League. Got Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, of course, Amari Cooper and company. But, Neville, you deserve a rest. So thanks for coming by here on Inside the Jets, and we're going to come right back. You are listening to Inside the Jets on ESPN New York.
After a busy day or just kicking off a night out, join them at Vanderbilt's Sports and Spirits located inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel in Florham Park, New Jersey. Sample all of your game day favorites from light snacks to locally sourced fare and enjoy a rotating selection of craft beers and local brews. Catch your favorite team on one of their 27 televisions. Challenge friends at a game of pool on 2 regulation-sized tables or gather around the fire pit on their outdoor patio. Visit Vanderbilt's Sports and Spirits in Florham Park, New Jersey for your game day experience.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Your 2019 Jets are built for action, just like the all-new 888 Casino. The fun never ends at 888. Top slots, live dealers, and big jackpots. Your ultimate online casino experience. Join today and get a $20 free bonus. No deposit needed. Play for real money anywhere in New Jersey at home or on the go. Go to 888casino.com on your iOS, Android, or PC to get your $20 free bonus now. JETS 888. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and physically located in the state of New Jersey to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Career success is in your future with a degree from Centenary University. 98% of Centenary alumni are employed or in graduate school 9 months after graduation. Hit the ground running with internships and career-focused programs like criminal justice, data analytics, education, equine studies, and sports management. Generous scholarships and grants are available at Centenary University. They're committed to your success. Learn more at www.centenaryuniversity.edu.
This here is the story of Lawrence, who always wanted to play pro football. His parents supported his love of the game, sent him to special camps, and then in college, pro scouts came to a bunch of games where Lawrence was playing the trumpet at halftime. Yeah, Lawrence was never that good at football, gave up by the time he got to college. But he also learned how Geico could save him a lot of money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. So, this here story has a happy ending after all.
Hi, football fans. This is Director Jared Maples with the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. It's our mission to protect New Jersey with our federal, state, and local partners. Of course, nobody knows our communities better than the people who live there. That's where you can help. If you see something that you suspect is out of the ordinary, report it. Together, we can keep our state safe. Remember, if you see something, say something. To learn more about what to look for, visit njhomelandsecurity.gov.
Falk in the shotgun, 4 receivers. Takes the snap, 5-man rush. Looks over the middle, throws high, and it is tipped up, and on the carom, it's intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. He runs right to the 45, breaks a tackle at the 50, gets hit hard at the Jet 42, and goes down there.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets. Eric Allen and Eric Coleman here at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Inside the Jets is presented by EY, building a better working world. We were just joined in our last segment by linebacker Neville Hewitt. He's made great strides this year. There's no doubt about it. And people are like, why do you tell him to get some rest? Well, the guy played every defensive snap.
And he played on punt team.
And he plays on punt team. So he's not coming off the field too much. And this is a guy who, throughout most of his career, was a reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's the guy, and he's calling the quarterback signal. He's the signal caller on defense. He's out there every single play. That could change when C.J. Mosley comes in, but he'll just shift over, and he remains a starter. He'll be the weak side linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, in the way he's playing right now, he's really setting himself up for a nice career. To establish himself as a starting linebacker in this league, to prove that he can go out there every play and perform in pass coverage, run, against the run. He's leading the team in tackles right now, doing a heck of a job. And this defense is playing well. They have some plays out there that they wish they could have back, I'm sure. But overall, this defensive unit is playing good football.
I got to be honest with you. If you're a Jets fan and you see Mosley go out in week 1 and you see Devin Singletary taking advantage of some of those big gaping holes, you're probably like, we're in big-time trouble from a run defense perspective. But the Jets, if you look at their numbers through the first 5 weeks in the NFL season, they're one of the better rush defenses in the league without Mosley.
Yeah, I mean, and that's coaching. First of all, it's effort by the players. They're doing a fantastic job up front of dominating the line of scrimmage. But when you see, your starting linebacker go out, and in that same game, there's some big runs going through, and then the next week, the run game gets stopped. Those coaches are coaching up those young linebackers to correct their fits. Let's play team defense like Neville was talking about. Make sure everyone stays in their gap. Keep that gap integrity. Everybody do your job, and you can get that run stop.
What does Greg Williams do in terms of him scheming things that make it so hard on an offense? Because everybody talks. We know he's got an attacking style. I know he sends pressure a lot. But talk in terms of disguising.
Well, disguising is a huge part of a defense. As a player in the secondary, as a linebacker, you never want the quarterback to understand what defense you're in before the snap. You want him to start figuring out what defense that you're in while he's dropping back, while the pass rush is going, is rushing on him. Now you show a cover 2 shell, last second when the ball snapped, you drop down to cover 1, because now all those routes change. There's a route to beat every single coverage, and if he doesn't know what coverage you're in, it's going to be hard for him to adjust while he's backing up. And you add into that a defensive line who can get after the quarterback. You add into that some blitzing packages that are unknown to the offensive line, and you create some big plays.
And those guys who play under Greg Williams, 100% buy-in. You just heard from Neville about he's an old-school coach. They like being coached up by a guy like him.
I would love to play for Greg Williams. I got a chance to play for some great coordinators in my day. My last one I played for was Gunther Cunningham, rest in peace, and one of those old-school, just violent coaches that just wanted you to just hit as hard as you can, run as fast as you can. You can tell when he gets angry because he's going to start dialing up the blitzes. It makes it fun. It makes playing defense fun. And when I see this Jets team, they may be losing some games, they may be down in score, but Jamal Adams is having fun.
But that's what I was just going to bring up. Together. When you talk about fun, I'm in the press box yesterday. I'm watching Jamal. It's a 3rd and 1. He makes a hell of a play on Carson Wentz, a pass intended for Dallas Goedert. And then they come up with the 4th down stuff, and Jamal's dancing like it's a Saturday night.
As he should be.
Yeah.
You know what? There's so much that goes into making a play in the NFL. There's in the offseason, you're working on your footwork, your speed to get that much faster. And during the season, you're looking at scheme, you're looking at technique to understand how this team's going to attack you. And then you put it all together and go make a big play. There's no better feeling than making a big play. I don't care what the score is. I don't care who you're playing. If you make a play in the NFL, you should celebrate and pat yourself on the back.
Yeah. Listen, Jets Rewards members, don't forget to enter code PLAY, P-L-A-Y, in your Jet Rewards portal during the show to earn 100 points. I was just going to say that if you had told me before Sunday that you're going to go into Philadelphia and just give up 17 points and they're only going to convert on 5 of their 13 third downs. You're also going to get a special teams takeaway deep inside the opponent's territory. I would have said, sign me up, because they gave you a chance to win.
Yeah, I mean, in this defense and the special teams unit has played phenomenal. During this season, they have had to go above and beyond of what they would normally do to win these games. And unfortunately, offensively, they just haven't found a way to get it clicking. You try to feed the ball to Le'Veon, you try to spread the love around the offense, but it's just not gelling. And it's not all because I'm sure there are some other, some receivers could run some better routes. Offensive line, they could probably do a better job of protecting. But, the quarterback has to get the ball out. It's a team unit, and everybody works hand in hand.
Adam Gase told me before this season started that it's going to take 3 or 4 games to know what my team's identity is. I would say now, after 4 games, you can't possibly know what your team is. You can't.
Well, you know what you got on defense.
Okay.
You know what you got on special teams. Offensively, I mean, there's so many components missing. And when you take the quarterback out, and I keep harping on it because it's the truth. Your quarterback is the most important position on the field. He makes the most money. You invest the most money in protecting him. If he's out of the game, then it makes it tough for your offense to go. And I think, and I'm not saying that when you plug Sam Darnold in, everything's going to be fixed. And the Jets are just going to go win games.
And we should clarify that.
Yeah, but it's going to help tremendously. It's going to help with, the getting the most out of every player, the calm. I think you'll see more football, better football. You'll see more points on the board, and you'll get more competitive games.
And it's hard to take a deep dive into the offense in terms of your analysis when you know that Luke Falk he might make one more start depending on what happens with the test Tuesday and whether Sam Darnold gets clearance or not. But the bottom line is you really can't look at this offense and give it a grade or know where it's going until Darnold plays, and he plays for multiple games. You can't tell me what this Jets offense is by just looking at what happened against the Buffalo Bills, who, oh, by the way, have one
Terrific
of the NFL's
defense.
best defenses.
Yeah, I mean, and then, to Luke Falk's credit, the first game that he played, he was activated off practice squad on Friday.
Right.
Then he goes in there and starts the game. The next week he plays against the Patriots. Doesn't have a good showing, but that's a great defense. One of the best Patriot defenses we've seen in a long time. And then, Sam Darnold takes all the first-team reps last week. Falk finds out on Friday that he's going to be the starter. And that's just not enough, especially for a young quarterback who hasn't done enough. He needs a full week of preparation to even have a chance. And to play against an aggressive defense like Philadelphia, who is coached by Jim Schwartz, who I played for, all he cares about is getting to the quarterback. He doesn't care about the draw, doesn't care about the screen. He wants those defensive linemen getting to the quarterback. And to play against that kind of pressure as a quarterback who's got one day of preparation, it's a tough thing to ask.
I do think the frustrating aspect for not only people watching at home, but across the street at the facility is sometimes the pressure is getting home when they are just rushing 4.
Yeah, but, a lot of that isn't the offensive line's fault. For a quarterback who hasn't seen a lot of different coverages, he's trying not to make a mistake. And you can't win trying not to lose, trying not to throw an interception. You have to take the fight to the defense. You have to anticipate those throws. You have to throw the receivers open. And it's hard to get a feel for that when you don't get the reps. You don't have the experience or the confidence that Sam Darnold has.
Yeah. These are great points when you're talking about a young quarterback who just made his second start in the National Football League. You're emphasizing not making a mistake. So maybe sometimes your eyes should be going through the progressions, or maybe you should be seeing something, and instead maybe you're looking at something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about anticipation. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a route to beat every coverage. So if they're in cover 2, then you're going to run a certain route, and there's going to be an area of the field that's open. But Detroit. Philadelphia did a great job of disguising coverage. They have a veteran secondary led by Malcolm Jenkins.
Even though they were banged up at the cornerback position.
They were banged up, but they're still moving around, making things confusing. Then you add to the fact, Luke Falk was on his back quite a bit. Yep. It doesn't make it easy. It's a tough thing to ask, and it was frustrating to watch. You and I were both there at the game. All the air. The Philadelphia fans were hyped. The crowd was hyped. If you're a Jet fan, it was like after the first couple series, it was like, oh, man.
Well, how do you prevent that feeling on the sideline? Because you have such a fascinating perspective because you've been on that sideline before. Because now we've seen the last 3 weeks, Cleveland's up 13-0 in the second quarter. New England's up 20-0 in the first quarter. Philly's up 14-0 before people have gotten back from buying their popcorn.
Stay in your lane. Everybody has to stay in their lane. If I'm on defense and the offense isn't playing well, guess what? That's not my responsibility. That's out of my control. Well, all I can do is handle my job. I can be where I'm supposed to be. I can make the plays that I'm supposed to make within the defense. I'm not going to go, cover somebody else's job trying to make a play, and then I'm going to leave mine open and give up a big play. Everyone has to do their job. There's a role for every player, and I don't care if you're on offense or defense. You have to stick to your job and be where you're supposed to be and be accountable to the man next to you.
Yeah, and the Jets did start a pair of new starters at offensive line. Along that offensive line, left guard Alex Lewis, who's had some starting experience in the National Football League. He took the place of Kelechi Osemele, who's banged up with the shoulder. And then you started Chuma Edoga, your third-round pick from USC, who was taking the spot of an inactive Brandon Shell. So 2 of your 5 offensive linemen against a Philadelphia team looking to get after the quarterback. We're new up front.
Oh, yeah, and it's always tough. You talk about the offensive line, you talk about the chemistry, that bond that you have to have, that unspoken communication that you have to have in a crazy atmosphere like Philadelphia. And when you throw in somebody new, it's like, wait, we're not on the same page. And if we're not on the same page, then that's going to be a lot of big plays that we're giving up.
That's what Lewis said today. We got to communicate better.
Yeah, I mean, in the secondary, we had a saying is, as long as you communicate, if we're all wrong and we're all wrong together, then we're all right. We'll get through the down. We're all playing the same coverage, but we can't have one guy playing cover 2, the other guy playing cover 4 over here, and that's when you start to get those big plays where there's a free runner running down the field wide open and nobody's around him because that communication isn't there.
How much do you think this is hurting C.J. Mosley right now? Because he came from a winning program in Baltimore. He signed the lucrative contract in the offseason. He was brought here to turn the tide, and this guy, his DNA says winner.
Oh, yeah, it has to be tough for Sam Darnold, Quincy. All these guys are competitors. They're winners. And for CJ, his presence is still felt. You watch Neville go out there and play. He's out there busting heads. Every player, every linebacker out there, they're playing with the mentality. That whole defense is playing with a certain mentality. And just because CJ isn't out there doesn't mean his presence can't be felt. But I'm sure it's killing him to sit there and watch his teammates, watch his dogs go out there and not get the wins, not being able to contribute. If you're going to get beat, I want to get beat with you. You know what I mean? I don't want you guys just to be out there without me leading the way.
Do you think I'm crazy? My sense is here in between weeks 8 and weeks 14, the Jets are going to get a few wins. They're going to get some talent back. And I think by the end of the season, they could become a team that, you know what? We don't want to play this squad. After Dallas and New England, 2 very difficult games coming up, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And we're going to break down the Cowboys matchup coming up. You're at Jacksonville, team's 2-3 right now. I know they have a tough defense, but then you're in Miami. That's a winless team. You're home to the Giants, a team that's rebuilding on the fly, 2-3. Washington Redskins, they just made a coaching change. As Callahan takes over there, they're 0-5. The Raiders, 3-2 right now, but then at Cincinnati, 0-5, and then you complete that little stretch with a trip, with a home game against Miami, who's winless.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some opportunities, but ultimately, if you're going out there and playing, you can't worry about who you're playing. You have to worry about your job and not making mistakes, not beating yourself. And I think that once this team starts to gain that confidence, you start to win a game. You start to score on the end of a drive. You start to pick up that momentum and that confidence. And once this team has some more confidence and they understand that they can go out there and compete with anybody, I think they're going to be dangerous.
I think we're going to take a deep dive into this players-only meeting because I wanted to get your reactions on that coming up. Also, we have to explore the matchup that awaits the Jets Sunday at MetLife Stadium. the Dallas Cowboys, who look like world beaters those first 3 weeks, now have taken a couple losses the last two, so they'll be desperate for a victory as well. So more coming up. You are listening to Inside the Jets on ESPN New York.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium. Teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transform by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
Selective Insurance is a people, dedicated and tireless, passionate about digging in to be the difference. Our independent agents, working with us to offer the right protection, making businesses better, making communities safer, making lives whole again, all in the service of our mutual customer. Always at the head of the table. The customer, the independent agent, and Selective. Together. That's what makes the promise possible.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey Jets fans, it's your chance to score big. Right now, when you open any M&T personal checking account with a Visa debit card, you'll be entered for a chance to win a VIP game day experience, including 2 tickets and a luxury suite and on-field access after the game. Get all the details at mtb.com/checking. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. No purchase necessary. Certain restrictions apply, including residential eligibility and account types that apply for automatic entry. Void where prohibited. Visit mtb.com/Jets rules for important dates and official rules. Member FDIC.
You're invited to Super Bowl 54 in beautiful Miami for a once-in-a-lifetime football experience from NFL On Location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL. You'll meet NFL alumni, enjoy exciting pregame parties, watch the action from the 50-yard line, and celebrate on the field after the game. For easy one-stop planning and access to hotels and travel, let NFL On Location plan your ultimate Super Bowl experience. Secure your official access and the best seats at Hard Rock Stadium today. Visit NFLOnLocation.com.
Whether you're kicking back after a busy day or just kicking off a night out, join them at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits, located inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel in Florham Park, New Jersey. Sample all of your game day favorites from light snacks to locally sourced fare and enjoy a rotating selection of craft beers and local brews. Catch your favorite team on one of their 27 televisions. Challenge friends at a game of pool on 2 regulation-sized tables or gather around the fire pit on their outdoor patio. Visit Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits in Florham Park, New Jersey for your game day experience.
On game day, it takes an entire team to get the job done. Whether it's building the stadium, fixing the roads to get us here, or promoting economic development, the team we rely on is ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. They promote investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. ELEC, building the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Selective Insurance is a people, dedicated and tireless, passionate about digging in to be the difference. Our independent agents, working with us to offer the right protection, making businesses better, making communities safer, making lives whole again, all in the service of our mutual customer. Always at the head of the table. The customer, the independent agent, and Selective. Together. That's what makes the promise possible.
Locke Edwards comes on to punt. Corey Clement deep to receive. End over end kick to the far side left will bounce inside the 30, and Clement touches it, and the Jets get after it at about the 20-yard line. There's a loose ball inside the 20. Did the Jets recover? They did. The Eagles touched the ball. For some reason, Clement went after it instead of letting it bounce Trenton Cannon, the gunner, was there, and it looked like Cannon got the recovery.
Remember, Jets fans, you can stream Inside the Jets live through the Jets app presented by M&T Bank. Go to the App Store or Google Play now and search official New York Jets. Eric Allen alongside Eric Coleman at Vanderbilt's Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park. Listen, sometimes you got to get breaks. And, again, Jets got a break on special teams where Philadelphia messed up in terms of fielding that punt. But you got to be there to pounce on your opportunities, and Trenton Cannon was.
Yeah, Trenton Cannon gave great effort on that play, and he was in the right place at the right time. And, it's a credit to him. He's been showing up on special teams a lot, whether it be in the return game, covering punts. He's very active, and it's great to see a player like that get rewarded with a big play.
So what did you think about the play call from Adam Gase following that? He goes to a pistol formation. Ty Montgomery lines up behind Luke Falk.
Mm-hmm.
Little play action to Le'Veon Bell, and everybody goes right over pursuit. They're thinking the pitch is going to go to Ty Montgomery, and here comes Vincent Smith, who's active for the first time as a Jet.
I thought that was a great play call. A little misdirection, fake option, reverse. It was exactly what was needed. And that's the creativity I think everyone's been looking for Coach Gase, because he has the weapons. He has the players to go out there and execute those plays. But it's all about getting guys healthy, getting put in the right situations, capitalizing off turnovers, and I thought they did a great job.
Well, there it is. You just said it, being put in the right situations.
Yeah.
I think Gase has this. If you followed his career at all in Miami, he's got a lot of things dialed up, especially inside that red zone, where he can get really creative, and that was an example of it.
Oh, yeah. And once his offense gets going, once the momentum starts going, they start having nice drives, and they can start breaking tendencies. I think that's when you're going to start seeing the special plays. You'll start seeing the big plays from Le'Veon and Ty Montgomery, and start to see just feature different players. And I'm excited to see that playbook start to open up once Sam Darnold gets back, because I'm sure that's what's been holding things back.
Listen, you haven't been playing for a couple years, but you're still in very good shape. I try to keep myself in shape. I don't look quite like you with the arms, but I will say that I could have got into the end zone, I think, on that one, because Le'Veon Bell was leading the way. The cornerback wanted no part of him.
Mm-hmm.
Le'Veon said, "Follow me. I'm taking you to the end zone."
And that's what it takes sometimes, that unselfish play from your stars. I mean, you talk about the best player on the field, and he's out there blocking cornerbacks, down the field where he doesn't even know if the play is going to make it to him. Excellent block by Le'Veon, unselfish football. That's how you win the game.
If Darnold does indeed come back against the Cowboys on Sunday at MetLife, that's sure going to add a lot of drama.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to give the crowd a big-time boost. What do you anticipate from the Jets offensively with 14 under center?
Well, I think they'll take more vertical shots down the field. I think you'll see them converting more third downs and moving the chains a little bit and being more efficient. But they've got a tough opponent against them. DeMarcus Lawrence, Leighton Vander Esch on the other side, Jalen Smith. It's a pretty good front seven over there at Dallas, and they're playing good football. So I think if Sam plays, he'll be up for the challenge. I know Le'Veon will be up for the challenge, because every time he gets the ball, he's trying to score, trying to break, 1,000 tackles to get 3 yards. So it's going to be a competitive game.
What's the trademark of a Rod Marinelli coach defense?
Rod Marinelli.
Yep.
Tampa 2.
Yep.
Plays a lot of Tampa 2 defense. Some zone blitzes. He likes those athletic outside linebackers who can just read the quarterback's eyes. That's what you think back to Derek Brooks and Hardy Nickerson. They got a lot of interceptions, even Rondé Barber, off of reading the quarterback underneath coverage, just moving it on a chain together. So it's going to take a lot of manipulation from the quarterback. They're going to have some schemes. Herndon being in the middle of that defense, because the middle linebacker closes the middle of the field in Tampa 2. So it's going to be Herndon versus Leighton Vander Esch or Jalen Smith, whoever it is.
Yeah, I really like those linebackers for the Cowboys.
But that's going to be a great matchup.
Okay, on the other side of the ball, Cowboys are getting themselves into trouble with some turnovers, but boy, they can move the football. They had like 560 total yards against the Green Bay Packers trying to come back. In about 45 seconds, what do you got to do if you're Greg Williams to contain this Cowboys offense that obviously starts with Zeke Elliott, but Dak Prescott, he's got some weapons on the outside. Amari Cooper just had 200 yards receiving.
Absolutely. It's tough. It's a tough task, but it has to start with stopping the run. You cannot let the Dallas Cowboys run the football on you because now that opens up a can of worms for your defense. That's play-action shots, Jason Witten, Michael Gallup. There's so many receivers out there, but if you stop that run, you stuff Zeke up, it's going to make it difficult. You're going to put all the pressure on Dak Prescott.
And finally, you feel good about the Jets clearing the air today?
Oh, yeah, I feel great about it. It's always great to get everything off your chest, let it be known, have that team on the players-only meeting. I think that's going to help them out.
That's all for us this week from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits. Thanks for listening to Inside the Jets.
This here is the story of Lawrence, who always wants to play pro football. His parents supported his love of the game, sent him to special camps, and then in college, pro scouts came to a bunch of games where Lawrence was playing.